Okay, so in this video there will be 3 objections I overcome. I'm going to show you how to get through all of them. And the first one is at his last house he already went with another company, so he wants to go with them. The second one is his roof. He needs a new roof. And the third one, he's a new homeowner, so he doesn't have a year's worth of usage, so he wants to wait. And I'm doing this all while training a rep, so the first guy, that's who the guy's talking in the beginning. Let's get through this.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Love the love. Is that a pug?
Oh, yes.
Super cute. Hey, are you a Jody or Lawrence?
Yes.
Me. Okay, nice to meet you. We just got called in the neighborhood today to talk to a couple of the new homeowners.
This is a little off track, but I'm like, okay, this is awesome. We got the wife, we got the husband there. You know, they both seem nice, so I'm like, okay, this is a good start.
Uh-huh.
You guys just bought and moved in pretty recently, right?
Yeah.
Congratulations on the new home. That's always great. We're supposed to talk to a couple of the new homeowners about getting you guys off the penalty rate plans that SRP they put a bunch of you guys on. When you guys bought and moved in, do you guys remember what rate plan you chose for SRP?
Yep, we're on the flat rate.
Okay, so you're on basic.
12 cents.
Okay, 12 cents. So perfect. So all we're doing is we're just showcasing the new rate plan. Obviously with basic they charge you with basic they charge you different rates at different hours a day.
Right.
So all we're doing is we're showcasing the new rate plan. It's called E27. Essentially what it does is in the summertime, it reduces your bill down about 50%. And then on a yearly basis, it lowers it about 20 to 30% on average. So, and I mean, you guys obviously don't plan on moving tomorrow, right?
No, but if it's for solar though, I already have a company that I'm going to go with.
Oh,
I'm
great.
actually going to get some panels and a couple batteries. So,
Dude, that's
So right away I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, oh, this is awesome. I don't have to sell him on solar. He already knows what he wants. He knows it works. So all I have to do is I have to earn his trust and show him more value than the other company.
great. Did you guys just move in a month ago or?
no, we moved in June. I just haven't pulled the trigger on it yet.
Okay.
Just for the fact that there's a possibility I might need a new roof and I have to get that checked out first.
Perfect.
So, yeah, and the company that I just moved here from San Diego, and the company that I worked with in San Diego on my last house, they actually bought out a company here.
Perfect. What?
So now I'm thinking the main thing we have to get through is literally just him sitting down. He hasn't pulled the trigger. We need to give him a reason to pull the trigger. So right now I'm thinking the main thing I have to get over is just him sitting down with us, especially since the other company just bought out a company here in the market I'm working in.
It was called Baker in San Diego. Here it's Streamline Solar.
Streamline Solar.
Yeah.
You have a good experience with them at your property in
Oh,
San
yeah.
Diego? That's awesome.
They're like one of the best companies in San Diego.
Okay,
So,
that's great.
Yeah, so the company we work for is Freedom Forever. We're the biggest residential solar.
So the rep I'm training, he did ask a good question. I do know a lot of companies that work in a market, as well as other reps that work at those different companies. So if he said one of those companies, you know, I could have just been like, cool, you know, I'll send him my way. Boom, I become the setter. We split the deal, whatever. But it wasn't a company I heard from before. So now I have to build up our reputation to the homeowner.
Company and the entire nation. We install for Tesla as well.
okay.
So-
Streamline just got bought out just not too long ago, and Baker, they don't use subcontractors.
So every company has to start by using subcontractors until they get enough people in,
Okay.
until they can do their own installs. Once they do their own installs, that's cool, awesome. That's why you had a great experience, because they didn't subcontract out anything to anyone, right? Pretty sure it's the same thing here. They do all the installs themselves. But as far as us, we're just a one through company as well. And there's a reason why a lot of companies use us as their installer.
So he thought we were a subcontractor at first, and he told me the company he went with didn't subcontract out anything. So I just told him every company starts out the same, and we're not a subcontractor either. So I emphasize on that. You know, I say, hey, the biggest reason why you did have a good experience is because the company you went with, they didn't subcontract out anything. That is the biggest reason why you had a good experience. And so he's like, yeah, that you know, that does make sense. And I'm like, hey, guess what, dude? We do the exact same thing. We don't subcontract out anything. So then it's like, if both companies are equal, if both companies can give me the same experience, who am I going to get more value from for what I pay? And so that's essentially what I'm trying to bring him towards.
Because we do everything by the book, and like you were saying, you know, because they didn't subcontract out anything, you just had a better overall customer experience. So we'd be willing to essentially just show you the same exact thing. If we could give you better warranties, better price, better customer experience, would you be offended by that in any way?
So I build a lot more value into our company, and I make it super clear that he'll be completely safe going with us. And for the money that he would pay, the value he would receive would be a lot greater. Then I just ask him if he's against the idea of receiving more value. Obviously he's gonna say no, but you know, I was trying to go into transitioning for the appointment, and he said, no, I'm not offended. I'm like, cool, man, that's all we do. We just come back here, show you what everything looks like, and then you guys can decide if this is something you want to do or not. But then he goes into his roof, right?
I'm not offended by anything about saving money. There's nothing wrong with that. But
Okay.
I usually, you know, what I usually do, because I can tell you right now, you're not the first people that's walk around trying to sell me solar. So I've talked to about 7 different companies already that's come to my door, and the one that I didn't was Streamline because I asked for them specifically. But you know, everybody's, you know, I don't have the deal right now with them. I mean, I don't have it handy, so I couldn't show you to compare.
Yeah, that's fine.
I do have it in my email somewhere, but I just, like I said, my concern is my roof first. And
So at this point, I'm just trying to get him to sit down, because you know, whatever he does, going solar with the roof, we can make it make sense for him. But he brought up the other company again, and then he immediately switched to the roof, saying that was his number one concern. So I'm thinking, okay, cool. I just have to get over the roof, you know, the roof objection, make it make sense to him, and he'll end up sitting down with us.
And that's what I got to take care of, because it's almost a 20-year-old house, and the roof hasn't been replaced. So whether it's in great shape or whatever right now, in the future, you know, I just don't like people to start working on it, and then they say, oh, guess what, you need a new roof.
Oh, I gotcha. Okay. So
after hearing this part, I know that there's 2 ways to get a new roof with solar. The first one is the PPA, second one is the loan. So now I'm gonna do a little fact finding. I'm gonna figure out which way he wants to go, and then I'm just gonna, you know, hammer it. You know, I'm gonna say, yeah, man, that makes so much sense. This is the best way to, you know, do solar with a roof for X, Y, and Z.
if you did get a new roof, would you pay cash for it, or would you just like?
So that depends on how much the roof costs. For sure.
Okay. So if because we're not a roofing company.
Right.
We have, that's the only thing we would subcontract out is roofing. So essentially we can get you a roof near wholesale price, as well as, depending if you finance or if you do the PPA, we could get it with you with no money out of pocket, or you can get 30% off and get that money back from the federal tax credit.
Yeah,
but
I'm interested in leasing.
Okay, so we could.
Yep, so he told me exactly the way he wants to be sold. He said, I'm not interested in leasing, so it doesn't make sense for me to, say, no, man, do this. He just told me he doesn't want to do that. So now I go into, the financing aspect. If he takes out a loan, this is exactly what he would receive if he does solar, which is the great part.
Literally throw you in a wholesale roof price, same warranties, same everything, and you would get 30% of it back because of the tax credit, which is the cool part about it. And we could still do the solar, we could still do everything for you.
Yeah, see, the only problem right now is that we've been here since the end of June. And technically speaking, I mean, you can base it off usage that I started in June or whatever month you want to, July, however you want to put it. But Problem is that I haven't really hit my baseline yet, because each month that goes by, when we first moved here, obviously it's a shock because of the heat.
Yeah.
So we were running everything at 72, 73 degrees on the AC, so our usage was high. My bill was about $500 and something.
So,
And then the next month after that,
So right now he's validating a reason. He's validating his reason to wait and not do anything. That's all. He thinks by waiting a certain amount of time, he will get all the information he needs to make a decision, which is true. He could wait a year, but I could also come back tomorrow and give him all the information. That way he can make a decision right now if this is something he wants to do or not. So now all I have to do is I have to change his perspective, and then I have to make it make sense and make it logical for him to at least take a look at the information right now.
we started adjusting, got it down to $400
I'm
and
just standing in
something
the shade
dollars.
real quick.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you're stabbing.
Yeah, I know. I'm freaking
And
sweating over
then
here.
this month so far, we're projected to be at $300. So also, you know, the options that we need to look at are what's gonna, you know, if I keep going and I keep seeing how much right now it's the summer months still. I mean, it's where we're about ready to go into fall.
So that's-
things are gonna start cooling down. So,
Absolutely. So
you
that's
know.
the cool thing about SRP's program, because in literally any other solar program, we would want to produce near 100% of your usage. Where in SRP, their program is very different, which is the main reason why we talk to new homeowners, because essentially they incentivize you if you're just able to produce your energy between 2 to 8 p.m., which is when it's most expensive.
So right here, he's saying that he hasn't been in the home long enough to actually get a system size fit to his exact needs, which is true, but with this market specifically, with this utility company, you don't need a full years of usage. I'm explaining to him how that works right now.
The rest of the time, you get it at rates from over 50 years ago, 4 to 6 cents. So if we just put a small system up there with some batteries that's able to get rid of your on-peak usage, then the rest of the time, you are literally buying your energy at a third of the price, which is the cool part about it.
So for me, yeah, I mean, putting a few panels up there is one thing. And I guess that's another thing with SRP that I'm finding out is they don't like to put big systems on your house. So for me, the whole
Now I tell him exactly why it's better for us to work with new homeowners, for people in his exact situation, and why it makes sense to move forward with solar, even if you don't have a full year's worth of usage. And for all the people in different markets, this is the word track I use. This is what I say. I say, hey man, let's pretend you bought a new truck, you bought a new car, you don't know how much it costs, you don't know how many gallons it holds, you also don't know how much it costs on a monthly basis. However, if you were given the option to buy all of your gas at $2 a gallon, would you do it? They say yes. I'm like, cool, it's the exact same way. Your car runs off of gas, your house runs off of electricity. All we're doing is we're just decreasing the amount that you're paying for electricity, no matter how much you buy, how little you buy. Basically, whatever you use will always be less than what the utility company is currently charging you right now. That's what I would say in all the other markets I would work in. Oh, and now he's gonna tell me why it's not gonna work for him.
bigger system, and this is where I guess it's not making sense dollar-wise right now, is because I'm not going to get much on my return when it comes from SRP. So right, so the setup I had, I was able to operate all day. So being, like I said, from San Diego, I had 20 panels on my house, I had 2 Tesla walls, and I did not rely on any of the power companies. I was just on the grid. That was pretty much it.
So that's the same experience you would want here?
Pretty much.
Okay, cool.
So he tells me about his old setup, and I just asked him, I'm like, hey, I was like, if, you know, obviously I'm gonna get to that point, but in my mind, I'm like, hey, if we were able to give you the same exact setup you had at your last place, at your current home, is that something you would want? And he's like, yeah. He's like, that's what I would want. I'm like, great. I was like, we can give that to you. So now all I have to do now is I have to transition and ask him for the appointment for him to actually sit down with us.
And not only that, I mean, you know, I mean, for me, it's also for reassurance that when the power goes out, if it ever goes out, I'll be able to run my house all day and all night.
Absolutely.
So, you know, having a minimal amount of panels just to save a few cents is not my goal. My goal is to be able to be.
That's great. So right now, if you take out a loan for solar, it's really hard to save unless the rate per kilowatt is super high or they have, you know, state incentives. And especially with him putting batteries, you know, more than he needs, he says if, you know, to save money, that's not his main goal right now. So now I know when we come back, if I can show him the value in doing this right now, if I can build on, you know, his, you know, protection, his house will never be without power for the rest of the time he lives in his home. And I can also, you know, show the value in adding a solar system onto your home, he's gonna do it. So he's giving me all this ammunition to come back here and actually close him, and I don't have to show him savings.
Pretty much off the grid, kind of, and depend the least amount on, you know, SRP.
Absolutely, and we can literally show you everything. We can show you a roof near wholesale price, and then at the end of the day, you know, it's your decision. You know, we're confident that, you know, even if you do still decide to look at different quotes, you'll end up with us, which is, you know, the main reason why we're out here. But I don't get a yes or no from you right now. All I would do is I would pencil in a time to come back here, actually show you all the information. If it makes sense for you and the missus, cool, awesome. You guys can enroll into it. If not, you know, you guys don't have to.
Right, and you're the one that's going to come back and show, or is there?
It'll be me.
So today's not going to be a good day, obviously.
We got him. We got him. I got his bill. I set up a time for us to come back. It was, I believe it's for like a couple days out. He had to reschedule, so I had to send another technician there. He wanted to wait. Yeah, you know, we don't get them all, but you know, the more conversations we're able to have like this, the more homeowners we're able to set like this, the more yeses we're gonna get when we go into the appointment. You can't expect to close everyone, but you can always take it as far as you can. And on the door, I took it as far as I can. We got the goal, which is for him to sit down. So, yeah, that's the end of the video. Hey, before you guys leave, I actually have a free PDF for all my frameworks around these objections, as well as the exact word tracks I use to overcome the objections. It's linked below in the description. I'm not gonna ask for your email or anything like that. You literally just click on it's a Google Doc PDF, and you can have all that stuff for free. But if you did like the value and the logical approach I use to setting appointments, I have a lot of, you know, you might like some of my other videos. Like and subscribe.